Great to see you, Mandy. So sorry to keep you waiting. I know I'm ridiculously behind time here.
Okay.
So much I wanted to cover there, and I kind of felt I was in midstream, especially with the family scenario I wanted to go over. So thank you for your patience. So Mandy, thank you for coming on. You look fantastic. So you do. If you can tilt your camera down a little bit so we can see it from the way. That's brilliant, amazing, fantastic. So lots of people here at the start of their journey. So if you could share perhaps a little bit or a lot actually about what you were struggling with, the main things you were struggling with before we met.
So exactly what you've said tonight. It's like you asked me to do this at the very last minute. And earlier today, I was speaking to Tamara York, who's a friend of mine, and I said, "Oh, I don't have to do this till a couple of weeks." And then, and she said, "Will you do it?" And I went, "Yeah, okay then." And I thought, "What have I done? Oh no, I've got to do it now." So all of the things that you talked about tonight, I was thinking before I come on, when I was about 16, 17, never thought about weight. And from about 18, 19, I've been on a diet, but I haven't been fat since then. But I thought I was. I've done every diet there ever is. I've done the egg diet, the cabbage diet, the grapefruit diet. Weight Watchers even let me join at 9 stone when I was 5'6" and 23. And when I lost half a stone, they said I could be a lifetime member. So I think I totally messed my metabolism up, but it was never a problem because I would restrict food, lose weight, restrict food. I was quite active. And then I hit 52, and through cancer, I had a full hysterectomy. And if I hadn't had that hysterectomy, I would have been dead within 15 months. So I am eternally grateful that 10 years on at 62, I am still here. However, I am 4 stone heavier. The weight just kept piling on. I kept trying, and everything I tried, I felt more of a failure. I'm a perfectionist, so I'd do it for a week. I'd lose a few pounds, then I'd have a bad day because I used to eat my emotions, and I would think, that's it, you failed. And then I'd binge. I've been a great binger over the years. And one day I was scrolling through Facebook, as you do, and I've tried all the pills and potions and the quick fixes, and I've bought all the exercise things. My daughter's even a trained personal trainer and dancer. She took me to the gym, but we ended up falling out because she was bossing me around. So I said, I can't do this. I can't do it. Because in my head, that's what I was telling myself, that I couldn't do it. And then I saw you and I listened to you and I thought, this guy seems genuine. But what if he isn't? What if he isn't genuine? So I sent a message and you text me, and I'll make it quick because I know that people are running over.
Don't feel like you have to rush. This is something. This is your story, your journey. Don't feel like
I sat downstairs and I text, I think it was you, and you asked me a question. You said, how often do you think about your weight? And I burst into tears and I said, every minute of every day. And that's how bad it was. And that was just 12 weeks ago. And I can honestly say, I do not think about my weight every minute of every day. I have not done as brilliant as all these wonderful people, Hayley and Deborah, but I have lost some weight. I have lost centimeters, but more than anything, my mindset is changing. And I've got sciatica at the moment. So on Thursday, my back just went. That's the first time in 7 years. And a work colleague said to me, oh, I think you're doing too much at the gym. And I thought, do you know what? Normally I'd have thought, yeah, maybe she's right. And I thought, no, I'm not. I said, no, it isn't the gym. I slept funny. I know that. And I did spiral down. I'm not going to lie. I spiraled and thought, I can't do this. Now I can't do anything. And I thought, no, hang on a minute. Thoughts are not facts. Argue with your thoughts. You can do this. You can walk, because actually walking's good for bad back. Sunday, I spent all day meal prepping because I thought I can make sure I eat properly. I bought myself a walking pad, and normally when I'm listening to this, I'm on the walking pad to keep my steps up, because this is my little office and normally I'm sat here, as Tamara would know, and I struggle to get my steps in. But I literally I did spiral, I'm not going to lie. And I've had 2 holidays in the 12 weeks I've been doing this. I've still managed to lose, and it's minuscule to other people, but I've lost about 6 or 7 pounds. And normally I think I would have probably now gone up another dress size, because that's what was happening.
Just going to pause you there, first of all. I want you to stop saying the words minuscule and stop downplaying your accomplishments, because the fact that you've lost 6, 7 pounds in 12 weeks with 2 holidays sciatic pain. I mean, that's incredible. And what's more is you've stopped the upward trajectory of weight. And we would rather someone lose it gradually and slowly. When you have life interruptions, then cancel everything in your schedule and then just restrict yourself, lose a stone in a week and regain 2 the following.
And that was my other thing. I stopped wanting to go out. I love clothes. I absolutely love clothes, but I love food as well. And the two, as I thought, didn't go together. But do you know what? I love my meal plan. I've not restricted food since I've been on this. I'm working on the wine. I'll be honest with you. I worked out that actually having too much wine at the weekend is self-sabotaging. So I buy the little bottle now. I'm not giving it up. I'm sorry. I'm not giving my wine up. So I buy the little bottle now. I know I will have bad days. I know it isn't linear, but I challenged my thoughts. I wrote a few notes when I was here. I've stopped thinking about when I want to snack in the day. I think, stop. Are you bored? Are you stressed? You know, why do you actually want to eat? And if in about 15 minutes I still want to eat and I think I'm hungry, I do. But 9 out of 10, I'm thirsty or I'm bored with what I'm doing. And so I get up and I have a walk around the garden, or if I'm in the office, I go and chat to someone and I get a coffee. I take my food to work now instead of wasting loads of money. Tamara knows I used to go to the canteen and always have breakfast. I don't join Thursday Breakfast Club now. And if I do, I will take my food, my sausages with me.
Well done. Well done.
Small changes. Peter has been brilliant. When you rung me to ask me to join the elite group, I thought, oh, he's going to ring me to tell me off because I haven't lost enough weight. So I genuinely thought that you were going to tell me off. And when you didn't, I thought, oh, okay then. But Peter has been brilliant. His messages are really uplifting. And, you know, when I have struggled, I have told him, I said, you know, I'm struggling, but I've actually turned it around. And I'm sticking with this because you said we'd get you to a size 10. And I thought, no, that was a long time ago. But, you know, I've stopped buying clothes and I now look at a size 10 and I'm like, I'm going to be in that by 2 years. I'm not going to stress myself. I'm going to keep going. I'm not giving up. I've signed up for Tough Mudder, which I'll be honest, I've always wanted to do it, but I've been too terrified. And when my back went, I thought, oh my God, I hope my back don't give out on me. So, and I've tried the deadlifts and no, that isn't what damaged my back at all, because it was after that. So I've started going back to the gym again, and surprise, surprise, I'm actually enjoying it. But for me, I lay in the bed when I finish work thinking I can't do this, I'm too tired. And I think, no, you must do it. So it takes me 20 minutes to turn my thought process around, but I never regret going. And I'm a strong believer that the universe will send you things, messages, if you're really focused. And on Sunday, I was really down because of my back, and a message popped up, a Joe Wicks message actually, on my Facebook, and it said, stop self-sabotaging, be consistent at the weekend if you want to succeed. And I thought, that's it. That's what I've got to do. I've got to stop drinking the wine. And it sounds silly because the two weren't connected, but suddenly it turned my mindset around. And there are so many things. Like tonight, I really thought, oh God, what have I done? I don't deserve to be talking to these people, these amazing women on here. But your message tonight was it resonated so much with me. So thank you. And I am so grateful that I found this group, because I feel like I'm back in control, and that's amazing. And in between times, I went for a job interview, and although I would have still done it, Tamara knows how nervous I was, but I actually got in a pair of trousers that were quite loose that day, even though I hadn't lost loads of weight. And I went in and I thought, I'm going to own this. And it was a job I'd been doing for 2 years, a promotion, and I got it. And I'm sure that my mindset and the way I was feeling actually helped me go in there being much more confident than I would normally. So
Yes.
yeah, at 62, I got a promotion.
Unbelievable, Mandy. I wish you'd started with that. That's amazing.
And Tough Mudder is 2 days before my 63rd birthday. And so my husband said, I'm not going to be visiting you in hospital, am I? And I said, well,
sign him up, make him do it with you.
He's coming. No, he's coming to take photos and hold my handbag, he says.
Mandy, there's so much I want to unpack there, but I just want to first of all give you all the credit, because the fact that you've taken so much of this on board, the fact that you're implementing these things so quickly. Think of the last 10 years of your life. If you had that on a measuring tape right now.
I wish I'd had this years ago.
Draw out how many years? How many years has your weight been an issue?
10 years since the menopause and hysterectomy, and I've got to stop blaming it on that and take responsibility, which is what I'm doing.
Just to showcase to you for a second how successful you are, like this is a visual of like the 10 years there. This is the last 12 weeks. So that little tiny space there, you've managed to undo a huge amount of the behaviors that you've built up in this time.
Yeah.
That is monumental, regardless of the weight. So don't ever downplay your accomplishments again. And Mandy, you're buzzing, actually. You're just alive. I mean, the comments coming through, your enthusiasm is infectious. Congratulations on your promotion. So many achievements, Mandy. Fabulous woman. Congratulations. Might see you a tough mother. Inspiring. And what makes you think this is sustainable? What makes you think this is not going to be a flash in the pan now?
Because I've stopped focusing on just my weight. I'm trying to change my behaviours, and they've obviously been ingrained now for many years at my age. And I feel that that's what is having the biggest impact, is my behaviours, the way I think, the way I actually notice now when I'm thinking negatively, and the self-sabotage. And I think back to my first marriage, when I used to get up in the middle of the night and just eat. I would binge. I wasn't hungry. It was nothing to do with weight, because I lost weight easily then. It was eating my emotions. I stopped doing that when I married this husband. I don't do that anymore. However, I can easily spiral, and little things can trigger me, but I do pull myself back. I'm not saying I'm not there yet. I'm on a journey. And what Peter says really helps me. I keep repeating it. He says, Mandy, it's not perfection, it's progression. And I say that to myself and my journal. I'm not as good as you. I don't do it every morning. My life is hectic. I sometimes forget to come on here and realize when it's just finishing, but I've got little sticky notes now for this and the Zoom, so I don't forget. But gradually I'm getting in a better routine of remembering all of it. I felt overwhelmed at first, so if anybody's just joined, you do, but you get through that, and I am getting better. But I love watching Hayley and Deborah and Val, and I sometimes scroll through and look at their achievements, and that is what really motivates me. There's some amazing people in this group, and they're so supportive and so lovely. And I've stopped looking at some of the other Facebooks because they're so negative. This is my main one that I scroll through now. So, yeah.
To God, Mandy, you are infectious in the most positive and energetic way. And so many things I want to unpack that you said. First of all, going back to the journaling just for yourself, if you struggle to do it consistently, what's really helped me is me consistently telling myself, Alex, if you don't journal, you're going to be flying at half mast today. If you don't journal everything that you've accomplished, you won't even be aware of it, because if you don't write it down, you don't stop to take stock. So the two things that make me journal consistently is, one, without it, I'm half the man. Two, with it, I actually can see what I've achieved. And that keeps me centered.
And you're right, because when I do it, I look back and I think, oh, yeah. Oh, and then I realise there are so many things in my life that I do have to be grateful for. And just before I come on this call, I got a message from my ex-sister-in-law saying that her husband had died of cancer and yesterday, and he was only 58. And that shocked me because, you know, when I was with my first husband and we were growing up, and by the way, they're from Ireland as well. So that was another thing that drew me to you. You've got the red hair like me, and I was married to an Irishman for a long time. And they were like, I grew up with them, and I knew him when he was 19, and I thought, that's so sad. And I know some of it would have been down to his lifestyle, because I knew, without going into detail, and it made me feel so sad. And I thought, you're right, you can get to a point where it's too late. And I don't want to go into retirement in a few years' time and be unable to do things and, you know, have all health problems and everything. So that's really important to me now. I think even more so than how I look. So,
of course, I got our health, everything else is irrelevant.
My nan used to say that your health is your wealth.
And just going back to that lovely lady, ask her, would you like a call with Catherine, who's our specialist in emotional trauma? Even if she's not on the program, I'll organise it. So just do me a favour and ask her. And if she wants that call with Catherine, our specialist, she's more than happy to have it. And look, Mandy, I want to thank you for coming on. Like, I want to thank you for patience for me, first of all, because I wanted to bring you on earlier. So thank you for being so lovely.
My story's not as good as some of the others,
Whoa,
but
whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm going to pull you up again. Stop doing that. Okay. Don't say that. The only difference is they are a different timeline. It's literally that. And actually, something that you really have to know, and that is, I've never had anybody be able to not just be aware of all these strategies so quickly, but be able to rehearse them back to me like you're able to. Like, you hold on to something. When you hear something, you hold on to it and you almost put it in your in a like a bank, and then you pull it out when you need it. That's what you're doing, like what Peter
I
said.
do actually do that. Yeah.
That's savage. I mean, savage. Like, I wish more people who we help were able to do that. That's a superpower. And anyone watching this, if you don't do that like Mandy does, try and think, how can I do that more often? Because it means that you have these tools to be able to slow you down whenever something happens in life unexpected. And you can change your decisions, because life's about choices, and you have the tools, so many tools now to change yours. And
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, Mandy. Tamara speaks the world of you, by the way. So do I. So does
Well,
Peter.
I'm not giving up, Alex. I will be there in next May at Tough Mudder, do what I can. And in 2 years' time, I'd like to come on again when I get into that size 10 dress.
You will. I'm going to hold you to that. And I'm going to hold you now publicly to the little video in the inner
I
circle.
will do it this week.
Oh, amazing. 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 And you'll feel brilliant afterwards. I know, confident. Like even from a personal perspective, my wife gets the best version of me when I come down after these lives. Because it's just amazing to be surrounded by such wonderful people like yourself. Like, it really is, it's like, it is infectious to use that word again. It's so energizing. So I am so grateful that you're here and that everyone else is here, and that all of you are not lying down to self-limiting beliefs or limitations. You're standing up for a better life. You're not settling. You're not coasting. You're living a full life, a bigger one. And I want to thank all of you, and especially yourself, Mandy, for coming on. And have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. I know it's been a long one. Thanks again. Bye
Thank
bye,
you.
everybody. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.